Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church in
Bob,
Springfield.
could you move the mic so we can hear you?
You don't want to miss a word of this.
No.
For 200 years, we've been preaching love and the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Here we don't expect to think alike, but to love alike. We invite you to join us in seeking truth and sharing love with our neighbors. My name is Paul Allman, and I'm one of the trustees. If you're a guest with us today, we invite you to simply enjoy being with us. You're welcome to join us after the service for refreshments and conversation.
Thank you, Matt. Perfect song for today. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Hygge.
Hygge.
I'll teach you how to say
Okay,
it.
good.
I'll teach you how to say it. Yeah, that was just such a great way to lay things out for what we're going to look at today. Most of you know me. My name's Joe. I'm here, not always here, but sometimes here on Zoom, teaching Tai Chi, and sometimes here, sharing what I like to learn about when it comes to self-care and taking care of ourselves. And I discovered this book, The Little Book of Hygge. This is kind of old now. Like, the years go by really fast. So this is from 2017. And nobody's really talking that much about this anymore, but I'm going to save that for later. But it comes around every winter and every holiday season, and you should kind of know a little bit about it and be in the know when it comes to like looking at what's on Pinterest and what's in fashion, because I think that's really important. But what Matt sang about is what Hygge's really about, and we're gonna make our way down into the depths of Hygge in a little bit and talk about that. And I came across a few things. I kind of left the readings and some other things that we normally do aside, so we can really spend some time later to reflect on that and to share if we want to. But I did come across from the Essene Book of Meditations and Blessings within the last couple of days, something that I thought was really pertinent for the season that we're in. And according to the calendar, this calendar, the natural world calendar, we're still in the season of Samhain, because we haven't come to winter solstice yet, which it just seems kind of hard to believe. So for the season of Samhain, the seasonal focus this time of year is outer darkness calls for nourishment within. And the morning focus, since we're still morning now, is the angel of earth. And here's the blessing for Sunday that I thought was interesting. My inner wellspring bubbles over, and the more I share, the more I have. Help me to be a valued service, yet not attached to being a server. For the tools of service are compassion and humility, and these are born in a loving heart, which is open enough to take as well as give. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share. From this we live. So let's continue with our theme. We're number 352, find a stillness.
Stillness, let the stillness
I think my favorite part of offering these shares with you is offering a little meditation when we're together. And thinking about what would work best today for our theme, I remembered this comfort kit practice that I used to do. It was a journaling practice, and it's actually much longer than the time that we were going to have together. Oh, I love how you're showing your coat. That's so cute. But I thought we could kind of distill it and do it more in our mind's eye today. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a visualization, and it's, you don't have to come out with an outcome or be logical or write anything down, but just take the time to experience what I'm going to offer you today. So find your seat, settle in, get cozy under your neighbor's coat that might be across both of your laps. And feel your feet on the floor. Feel your seat in your seat, or if you're tuning in from home, maybe you're on your couch. And if you're comfortable and want to close your eyes, you can do that. Otherwise, see if you can disconnect your brain from what it's taking in. So maybe you're just gazing out at a blank wall across from you, or maybe you're lucky enough to have a window in your view and you can gaze out at a beautiful scene. But let your brain have permission to just rest. And notice your breath getting a little bit calmer. Maybe it's dropping lower physically in your body. And don't worry about changing anything. You're just experiencing yourself where it sits right here. And while you're here in this place of rest being held, allow images and sensations of pure comfort to come to you. So we'll leave it kind of open to start, whatever that might mean to you. When I say the word comfort, what are some of the sensations that you might feel, the things you might see? And allow the images to just pop up and come and go. You don't have to hang on to anything unless you want to. But notice what you're getting drawn to, what you keep coming back to, what feels really good for you. And maybe those things kind of feel like a hug, gentle squeeze. And we'll take just a few minutes to organize them a little bit so that you can come back to them later. And the idea here is to build the most perfect, nurturing mental space for you, a place that you can always go back to whenever you want. So I want to give you permission before we get into this to let logic go. We turned our brains off. So if your best place, most comfortable, supportive place is a warm tropical beach where it snows and there's mountains and it's full of animals, you do you. That's great. You can do that in your mind's eye. So just let all the things that make you feel happy and secure come into your awareness here. Go ahead and slowly turn your head from side to side, imagining that you're taking in everything that's around you, all these wonderful things that are making your place lovely just for you. And to yourself, or in your mental catalog, note who might be there with you, if anyone. And that could be human or more than human. And let yourself get specific here. Specific people, specific animals, specific plants. Now let the sounds start to bubble up. What sort of sounds do you hear when you're in your most comfortable, supportive place? And remember, silence is a sound also. Go ahead and take a full breath here. What do you smell? And exhale. Remember that it doesn't need to make sense if you were telling somebody else. What are the things that make you most comfortable and allow you to relax and feel secure? In your mind's eye now, imagine you're rubbing your hands along the surface that's supporting you. What does that surface feel like? Take the time to really take that in. Any other textures that you might be feeling, including wrapping your arms around yourself and discovering what you might be wearing that feels really good on your body. It can feel soft and sturdy, stable and sturdy, or it can feel really sumptuous. And it can be both. Go a little bit further in internally, and is there any sort of taste in your mouth that you're experiencing? Maybe you've just had a certain meal or a certain dish, certain beverage. Or maybe your mouth is watering because you're about to enjoy that in your mind's eye. And take a moment to just recline in this whole image that you've created for yourself. Very personal. This is your Hygge space. You feel supported, whether you're by yourself or you have a whole group of people there. And note that these are people and beings that you can be comfortable with in silence. Okay, go ahead and let your hands make some kind of connection with each other. They can come together in front of you. You can continue to or start to wrap your arms around you. Place your hands on your heart, whatever feels right for you. And in your own way, have this be a little gentle hug and a little knowledge that you can come back to this place. And as you're ready, begin to blink your eyes open if they're closed, allow the focus to come back. As you did in your mind's eye, now for real, turn your head from side to side. Take in this room, this place, the room that you might be in at home. Maybe give yourself a stretch. Changing, coming out of your mental awareness to back now to your physical awareness. And know that we'll do a little more discovery of your Hygge space in a little bit. Hygge space. And yeah, affirmation. I don't have to. That's Sharon. All right.
I feel so relaxed. Thank you, Joe. So on the back of your order of service, up here or in here, would you join me in saying the words of our affirmation? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve the needs of all beings, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with the source of our being. Time for our offering. And as is our custom, the first Sunday of the month, we donate to a nonprofit. And as is also our custom in December, we donate to the World Food Program that so needs our help. So please be generous as you are able.
Okay, everybody see that? How to Hygge. Hygge. We're gonna get there.
It's like a umlaut.
It sounds, yes, sounds like that. I think that's the hardest, that will be the hardest part of this concept is how to say it. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do today. Let me just run through what we'll cover. So we will do the pronunciation options at the beginning. I'll talk about a definition because I guess that's part of it too, is we don't really know exactly what it is. So we'll talk about a definition. And we'll talk about some Scandinavian folks and how they see the different ways that they see this concept. And then we'll go through the aspects and the things that people tick off when they say this is what Hygge is. And then we'll talk about what it's really about, what's underneath all the stuff that's on the surface. Okay. So you may hear, including from me, Hygge, 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 or something else. But I feel like the second one, the Hygge, it's kind of in there a little bit. And is anyone here from Denmark? Anyone from, or that part of the world even? You have,
Well,
that,
yeah,
yeah?
Finland.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Bill?
Sweden.
Okay, well, we're gonna come to you too when it comes to Sweden. So yeah, no one's gonna call you out on anything here. And I always feel like when it comes to pronunciation with words that we all sound different, like birds, right? And we're all different, so it's not gonna sound the same for each of us, but you do wanna have some of the same letters in there so people know what you're talking about. Okay. So where it came from, it was a Norwegian word meaning well-being or happiness. And maybe it sort of sounds like the word hug, kind of, which I think is kind of neat. So for about 500 years, let me see, can I move this and not damage things? Let's see here so I can get my notes. Denmark and Norway were one kingdom, and then Denmark lost Norway in 1814. This word was first written in Danish in the early 1800s. So that's where the Norway connection comes from. All right, now can I move this back? Can I just do this? Yeah, okay. So there, I mentioned the other Scandinavian countries. I am not going to attempt to pronounce some of these other ones, but the Netherlands have a word. All right, Gezelligheid. That word tends to be more about summer. Not that Hygge is only in the winter, and we'll talk about that too, but it's a little more social, sort of summer party type vibe, the word from the Netherlands. Norwegian word koselig, which sort of sounds like cozy. So that's kind of cool. This Swedish word, is the kind of new Hygge. It's like the new black. Ms is the new Hygge. And they're very similar. Again, Scandinavian, when we talk about the aspects are quite similar. There's a German word, not going to say it. And then this Canadian idea of hominess, coziness. So they're kind of familiar. Any thoughts about like what these places and what they have in common?
They're cold and dark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Denmark is actually a little more rainy than snowy, but still has that very gray. I mean, we can look out and see it right now, right? It's very gray, monochrome type thing going on all the time.
But when they do surveys and polls about happiness and contentness, all these countries are way ahead of us, right?
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. And I didn't tell Matt what I was going to talk about, but yeah, that's exactly what we're going to get at. And then the question is why, right? Why is that? A lot of people, we're miserable when it's cold. Why? So it's quite interesting. Yeah, so Denmark has 179 rain days a year. And I went to school in Syracuse, and somehow I keep ending up in these environments. And that was curious to me too, because I was like, why, if you have a choice about where to live, why do you end up here? Why? So there's a reason, right? It's not just the darkness, or in spite of the darkness. So the feeling that Hygge, Ms., some of these other things tries to bring up in us are feelings of being at home, safe, loved, secure, warm and cozy, despite what's going on outside. I wish you all could see this sharing of a jacket as a blanket in the front row, because this is like, right, this is it. So cute. All right. As Matt has already shared with us, the Danes have been named the happiest people in Europe. They are known to meet the most often with others. They're most often in groups socializing, and they've been found to be the calmest and most peaceful. So where does all this come from? Because like you can just say this stuff, right? And especially now with social media, anybody can say anything and believe it. Well, this is according to the European Social Survey. And our author from Meik, Wiking, this author of the Little Book of Hygge, who's written several other books on this topic. He is head of an organization that studies happiness. So this is his jam. What I find interesting is this. We mentioned the long winters, darkness, that kind of thing. They have among the highest tax rates in the world. But they see it as an investment in society. And this reduces, right, community reduces the risk of anxiety. We feel safe, even though it's cold, and maybe there's we don't know where we're gonna live or where we're gonna be. We know that we'll be taken care of. So I get like goosebumps when I think of that, because that's amazing. And it's really, so Hygge really becomes the antidote to the conditions, to the climactic conditions. But then there's this underlying, hey, my neighbor's taking care of me. I'm gonna be okay. All right. So now we'll get to like the Pinterest and Instagram section of the share. And I'll share some things with you that, when people think of Hygge, these are the things that come up for them. These are the things that they picture when they do their comfort kit journaling, meditation exercise. These are the things that come up. And maybe some of these things came up for you when you were doing it yourself. Light is the number one thing. And number one for people in these countries is candlelight. Candlelight, firelight. Firelight was right. And they're not scented, they're nice beeswax candles, and they're all over their house. The Denmark breaks the records in December for the number of candles that are lit. It's like 3 times anybody else, all the candles that are being sold in Denmark. 85% of Danish people mention candles when they're surveyed on doing happiness surveys or Hygge surveys. It's like 13 pounds a person, 13 pounds of candles per person, more per head than the rest of Europe. It's crazy. 28% of people burn every day, and 31% burn more than 5 at a time. So it's like when you walk in their homes, right? And there's a science to this warm light, and I tried to kind of capture that in this image here, that more golden light. And I know there's at least one photographer in here who probably looks for, it sort of looks like that kind of color too, that beautiful time of day, might happen in the morning as well, when the light is just golden and beautiful, and it's not harsh and coming from straight on. It's just this lovely, casts this lovely glow. We all know what that is like. So we can do that in our homes too. Even with light bulbs, now we have the option to buy warmer light bulbs and firelight. For sure, because that gets warmth in there too, right? So you can make this a golden hour yourself in your home. I love this. There's this Danish word, lyseslukker, the one who puts out the candles. It's the party pooper. Lyseslukker. Like you're going out, you're putting out everybody's candles. I thought that's pretty cool. So candles, number one, or light, number one. Next is community. So socializing, eating, relaxing with other people, but this is small groups. This isn't, you're at a big concert with 5,000 people. You are with a handful of people, usually like maybe 3 to 4 people. So it's very well suited to introverts, people who don't want to stand up in front of a crowd and do karaoke or something like that. And these relationships are correlated to happiness, right? You're going to get together with your 3 and 4 people that you're most comfortable with. So there's a social glue here that happens of the oxytocin, that lovely hormone that supports us. There's a sense of trust with these people. You can really let your hair down with these people and be comfortable. So you do it here. We do it after every service. There are lasagna dinners, there are soup meals, there are different things that we do to get together as a community, and those all involve food, which is coming up next. But yeah, when we do Tai Chi, we get together as a community. So you might think of all the different ways that you get together as a group, small group. So food and drink, you can't not have food and drink, especially if you have community. Usually it's like slow food, crock pot, soup's been on the stove all day. That's the kind of food we're talking about. But there's cake. There is always cake. So something sweet. And then, a nice warm beverage, coffee, cocoa, glug, some type of beverage. And every country seems to have that beverage that's associated with them as well. And Meik Viking does say that the Danish people, they're not the healthiest people in the world, but they're the happiest. So that's kind of interesting too, right? And they actually eat twice the European average for sweets. So, yeah. So it doesn't need to be, though, can be, like I said, the crock pot thing, or Instant Pot, I guess we're calling it now. So plan some kitchen time with your people. You get 2 things at once there. Clothing. I feel like when it's winter here and in these places, we don't care, right? We just need to be warm and we don't care what matches. We don't care what it looks like. It's probably our favorite stuff because it's kept us warm for many years, and it becomes this big thing if we have to replace something because we've had it forever. Somebody has handmade it for us usually. It might be a knit item. We probably each of us probably has at least one of these. Scarves. Definitely muted colors this time of year, usually, although you might find something fantastic that's very colorful. But when you have color too, it really pops, right? Because our whole landscape is very gray this time of year. Layers. Yeah, and just casual. We just don't care. We want to stay warm and dry, and that keeps us healthy and happy. Because there's nothing more miserable as like wet feet or, your hands are cold or that sort of thing. But yeah, I kind of like that idea of you have something hand knit to, that was probably in your family or you made it yourself. There's a nice community connection there with what you're wearing. Okay, your home. Really, this is bringing the outside in, bringing nature in. We talked about textures before, so nice wood, things that are wood, things that are handmade. When we can bring a greenery in this time of year, that becomes our color that we enjoy. Ceramics. A lot of us collect stones or crystals or seashells or things like that. Bringing the outside world in, because many of us spend the majority of our time indoors this time of year, and we don't always have the ability to get out, especially if it's very cold. So this word at the top here, Hygge. The image is a really good one, and it just sort of worked out that way. When you think of a book nook or a little corner in your home where you like to curl up and read and have a cup of tea, and it's almost always has a window so you can look outside, keep an eye on that storm happening. Very Hygge to have a little nook, a Hygge kroll. Books, you're going to read. Does this all sound very analog, right? This isn't like getting on your laptop or having your phone. This is putting all that stuff away and going back to picking stuff up and feeling it and experiencing it. That's where the texture comes back in. And that vintage stuff, the handmade things, the things that were passed down, all part of what makes that coziness in our homes. So to take it the way we did our meditation too, when we look at the senses that are involved here, the tastes are very sweet and familiar. I love that word. Comforting. We have sounds that are safe, whether it's voices that we're familiar with or nature sounds that bring us comfort. The smell might be memories. Smell and memories are very highly connected. Goes whenever your nasal cavities where you take in smell goes directly to your brain. It's the one place of all your senses that it's a direct connection. And what you might see, it's like kind of dim and things are kind of rustic looking, and that's fine. That's what feels comfortable and familiar. And then the feeling is of something being homemade and small. And it might seem insignificant to somebody else, but we're not looking to make a big splash or anything. And I would put good music in there too, with sound, right? And singing, because some of us enjoy that. So that is why, if you think about all those things, I think that's why Hygge comes up around a lot in the holidays, because all of those things come up in the winter and the holidays. Family and friends, traditions, decorations that include things like candles and comfort food. But what I want to get to is what it's really about. And if you had to boil some of these things down, it's about simplicity. We think about handmade things and they might not be perfect. I have an ornament. My tree isn't up yet because our lights decided to draw their last breath when I plugged them in to test them. So I'm waiting for new lights to come in. But I have an ornament from a great aunt that is oh my gosh, it has to be close to 50 years old, that she made for me. And it's just a little, it's supposed to be like a gingerbread person, but it is painfully skinny. Like, I don't know how she turned it inside out, you know, when she went to go stuff it. And one arm's longer than the other, and the leg is like a little wonky, and the head is like ET, and it's ridiculous. And I love it. And it has the place of honor on my tree. So that's the sort of feeling that we're talking about. So there's a sense of modesty, there's a little bit of playfulness involved, and this idea of togetherness and being in community. Some things that came up for me too were like board games, you know, with a couple of people or playing cards. Yeah, I just did that on Friday with our neighbors. We have a standing monthly date to do that, and that's very Hygge. And also swap parties, like cookie swaps or clothing swaps. There's all sorts of things that you can do with that. So everyday happiness, what are we talking about? Love and belonging, savoring, this idea of slow, there's no rush. Why are we rushing to get out into the blizzard? We're just gonna stay here and enjoy each other's company and stay warm. And really comes down to gratitude, being thankful for the small things that we have. And I guess, I'm trying to remember if I was listening to Meik or somebody else from another Scandinavian country. They were talking about when the weather finally turns to spring, it's like a party in these places because they've waited so long, right? They've been inside and it's been so dark for so long. So there's that sense of gratitude for what we have. So my Hygge is these two. These are our cats, Ty and Chi, they're brothers. And they are bonded. They are like this all the time. They're right near each other. This was taken last year when we got them. Because they have everything. They're warm, they sit on my lap, they purr, they just looking at them, I feel, you know, comforted, and it means home to me when I see them. So that's my Hygge. And I was wondering if anybody else had anything that's coming up for them or anything even from the meditation that they wanted to share as we talk about some of these themes. They are. Ty is the black and white one, and his face, there's that symbol is actually on his face. And he has like a white spot on his black hind end, and he has a black spot on his, oh, it's on his front paw. It's really wild. It's really wild. Somebody did a good job with him. What do we think? Anything come up for anybody?
I have plants that I got inside every year for the decades, and sometimes they bloom.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
love it.
Inside, right? Yeah,
Yes, inside.
where you're not expecting it. I'm going to try to stop sharing here. Just jump in, whoever wants to
Well, I
share.
was wondering when you were going to get the cats, I was wondering, don't they have cats in Denmark?
That's a good question. I wonder like what their numbers are there. I'm going to have to look that up, and I'll report back. Good question.
Get a chat.
I do. Let's see. Thank you. I can't see the chat when I'm sharing. I kept picturing a black kitty in the sun during the visualization. Oh, a black cat would just soak up the sun through a window, right? And Sister Lindsay's kitty Peanut on her red velvet chair. Yeah, so look at all the cats. Look at all the cats that come up.
Mine too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, I was thinking of my kitty that died a few years ago, and he was 18 when he died, and he was my baby.
Oh, yeah. They just have a way, right? They know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For his baby too. What? For his baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was
Yeah.
his baby too. Yeah.
Yeah, cats very connected to sense of smell, and so they just love everything about us when they can smell us.
They sniff all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's so interesting. My visualization came quickly and clearly, and it was basically most of the things you described. So for me, a fire. I could stare into a fire endlessly. So there's that warmth, that light, the crackling sound. Of course, so it's like a cabin, and there was baby Grant there, and very quickly smell. It was the holiday spice smell, the cinnamon, the apple, the nutmeg, and then the taste. I had just had a wonderful cup of warm cider. All those things just came so quickly, and it just felt so good in that visualization.
Perfect. I love that. I love that. And I love that you have this like little cozy cabin and then the grand piano. Perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, because that's what feels good to you. Yeah, I love it. Anybody have something completely different?
I also thought of salt lamps, Himalayan salt
Oh,
lamps.
yeah.
With a beautiful orange, warm, cozy light.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that color. Somebody had a hand.
I love cats, but my dogs.
Yeah.
And just to have the snow and have them, they love the snow, they love the cold weather, and to spend time outdoors and then come in, they lie by the fire. It's just, my dogs just give me such comfort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like these long, dark nights, it's really nice to have company.
And it is the companionship,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
Not everybody is a pet person, period, but right, but yeah, we all have what we have, and they're part of our community. We all say that, right? That our animals are part of our family and stuff. So of course that makes perfect sense. And it doesn't need to be winter. You know, winter and the holidays really bring all the things together, the spices and the smells and the sounds. And I think we're a little more focused on it, and maybe we try to be a little more analog come the holiday time, but it doesn't need to be, because you can have Hygge on a beach, you know, picking up your seashells, having a fire on the beach, the salt smells, you know, that's all it as well. So yeah, I like that we don't have to limit ourselves.
I would say books.
Yeah.
And I love that I have all my books, that it could be really awful outside, not be able to go anywhere, but
Yeah, and I think some of us have that thing where when something gets canceled or the roads get shut down, like there's the little like, but then you go, oh, what am I gonna read? Yeah, there's a real excitement about it. And I know that we are still in the honeymoon phase of winter right now, and that come February, March, it gets challenging. So that's the time to pull back on some of these things, and what are the things that I can go back to that make me feel good, and how can I look at this snow out the window and feel just as in the emerald, you know, after feet and feet of it in February and March that I did in December. Hallie, did you have something?
Yeah, I would imagine that might resonate with us too, but the piano or music, one way or another. I hardly have any time to read, and what time I love to have time to read, but I do like to spend what time I can find at the piano and playing all kinds of music, and it's just, I wish I could do it as well as Matt does, but it's still it's really enjoyable.
And I would think anybody who plays an instrument, or even also singing as well, there's the feel of holding the instrument, and in singing, you feel it inside you. So there's all the senses are involved in that as well. And yeah, and especially with music and singing, there are songs that we tend to sing this time of year that we don't, so they're special too. We don't sing them at other times of year. Yeah.
That's one of the things that makes the piano special, because it's got the melodic side, but it also has a percussive side, so you can feel it.
What were you gonna say? Yeah, yeah.
I went a lot of different places and a lot of things, but two of the places that I went to were places that when I was growing up, I had to walk from the bottom of a hill up to our house, and along the way there was a little brook, tiny little stream that I would stop at, and sometimes I would play with the newts, you know, the little salamanders, and sometimes I would take a drink because, it's hot summer, whatever. And then the other place was across from our house, there was an old apple warehouse. And there was a ledge made of rocks and stuff, and I went there all the time. It was right across from our house, and it was a place that was private, and it was warm, it was sunny, and that place, I always went there. And I didn't do anything there, I read or just thought, but it's a very special place for me, so that came up.
That's great. Yeah, it's interesting when you allow things to just bubble up. It's interesting. And I love hearing like all the different places, right?
Yeah.
And you can all be in the same room and all be in vastly different places too. That's pretty cool. Well, thanks. Thanks for sharing. Let's see what we're on to next. Hymn number 318, We Would Be One. So I hope you enjoy the little walk through Hygge that we did today. Hope it makes sense now if it didn't before, or makes like deeper sense and resonates a little more. I love looking around while y'all were doing your visualization and seeing smiles, lots of nice smiles. That felt pretty good. So it's more than a trendy word. It's not even trendy anymore. I'm like always behind the trends a little bit. So it's like out of trend now, but now you have the more important part of it. And remember, it's not just the holidays. So bring it past the holidays too. So I wanted to share this last quote that Meik Viking says. It's at the very end of his book. I thought it was apropos. He says, Hygge is about making the most of what we have in abundance, the everyday. We have every single day in abundance. And he says, perhaps Benjamin Franklin said it best, happiness consists more in small conveniences or pleasures that occur every day than in great pieces of good fortune that happen but seldom. So we're going to get to hear some homemade music when we close out in a little bit, and then have some Hygge and the activities from, as usual, at the end. So make sure you stay for that.
let's move on. Matt, thank you.
As the darkness stretches out and the night becomes too much to bear, take my hand to the meeting house, those that we might find there.